one of the greatest commodity you have as an artist right now is creating content and promoting your song.
Most of the time, you might have like the best product. If a lot of people don't see your product, then you'll be losing out. If you have talent and you are not marketing it, you just be somewhere there and someone not as talented as you are is getting the old shine and all of that.
AI will replace average artist and average producer. Just don't be the one that's going to get replaced.
If you're an artist, it needs to be your priority to learn how to produce and how to play an instrument, or at the very least, like, know how to use your vocal, you know?
A lot of artists complaining that, producers are too expensive. Every producer have a price range, right? If you feel this producer is too expensive, go to the next person. So because a producer A is maybe charging you $200, $300, $500 for a job, doesn't mean they don't have good producer B that charge for $50 or even say, okay, let's try to, collaborate. So I feel like you as an artist, instead of complaining, you should go look for a level playing ground. Yo, what's up, guys? Beat by HTN, and in today's podcast, I have with me, I'm going to call this one a trilogy because I have two amazing music producers and one amazing artist. And today we are going to be talking on some controversial topics. So you want to make sure you stay up to the end because I have with me Jeb Josh. What's good, Jeb?
What's up, bro? How you guys doing?
I have with me Erico as well.
What's up,
He's
guys?
an artist, so he's gonna be on the artist side. So we're gonna give him that.
I'll do my best.
I have with me exactly, and I have with me Manifest Audio. So Manifest, how are you doing, my bro?
I'm doing great, bro. Hi.
This is kind of like an handicap, two producers over one artist. So
I'm handicapped too, bro.
hopefully,
he also produces too, so.
We're gonna dive straight into the first controversial one. We know we're not wasting time in this one, and it's definitely going to be who actually does more work when it comes to music. Is it the artist or the music producer? So who wants to go first on this one?
Ooh, I'll go first if you want.
Yeah, okay. Let's hear from the artist
as an artist here in Tucson, Arizona, I'm a Latin artist mostly. I do songwrite and produce quite a bit as well.
Yeah.
But I honestly would have to say that I think it really depends on, I guess, like how you define what the artist is doing and what the producer is doing, because I do understand also. As a songwriter and as a producer as well, I do understand that sometimes artists just walk into a room and they're basically like, all right, you guys make the song. I'm just going to sing it and perform it, And that type of,
exactly.
But yeah, some artists walk in and they basically expect everyone to do the work,
Yeah.
And there's a lot of artists in the industry that are globally famous that kind of function on this, I guess, process, if you will. And then they profit off of producers, they profit off of songwriters. If we're defining that as the artist in question, then I think that's completely inappropriate. And obviously in that situation, the producer is far more important than the artist. However, then you do have some artists that are literally 100%ers, meaning there are artists that songwrite, produce, and they do the marketing and promotion. They do everything. And those guys are machines. Like you think about John Bellion, for example, is probably somebody that I look up to a lot in that category, right? He's creating his artistry, and then he's also writing for people like Justin Bieber, like just straight up bangers. I guess it just really depends on what artists we're talking about and how much they contribute.
I think I'm going to play devil's advocate in this one because you made mention of John Bellion. Let's just say John Bellion is also a music producer, because there are music producers, there are also artists as well, like two in one package. So in a situation where the artist is not a music producer, let's look at it that way. And the music producer is not an artist. So who is more important in a session, Who plays more role, in the session? Is it the artist or the music producer?
I feel like nobody's like more important than anybody. I feel like it just depends on, what you're bringing to the table. Depends on the foundation, like to be very honest. Because, some producers are like, will carry the whole song, and then some artists will carry the whole song. If the beat is whack, the artist can still struggle to like deliver. If the beat is great and the artist is whack, you can still even try and make a hit and a banger. A lot of songs that you like, some of the lyrics you hear and you'll be like, anybody can sing this lyrics, but then that beat is carrying it. So
That's true.
it depends. It's a very hard thing to say, oh, this one is more important than this other person, because you need both the artist and the producer. You wouldn't see a lot of top 10 songs that is just beat only, and you wouldn't see a lot of top 10 songs that is just an a cappella only. So I think it's 50-50. It's a very, very hard place to say which one is more important. But if I was going to say, I would say the producer is really, really valuable, because if you have a great beat, you basically have a good song. That's just my perspective.
I was even about to say, let's say for instance, the artist leaves. Can the beat still sell? Let's say you make a beat with an artist, for instance, and maybe due to one or two things, then you remove the artist. Would the beat still sell?
I guess it really just depends on the producer. Because there are some, for lack of better words, like celebrity producers that we know, that have made massive names for themselves. Immediately, I think about like Tiny, for example. And in my mind, I've said it many times before. Jeb could quote me. There would be no Bad Bunny without Tiny. I'm sorry. Tiny really blew Bad Bunny up with that kind of like reggaeton sound that was very modern, for lack of better words, and also the Latin trap sounds. So yeah, it really depends on the producer and the beat. Yeah, but yeah, for sure. I think certain producers, the beat just goes. Look at Khaled as well, DJ Khaled. Come on.
So, but let's play a scenario, because sometimes I know music producers, when they have this kind of conversation, maybe to stir things up a little, they might be like, oh, you artists, if I take out your vocals, my beat is going to sell. If I take off my beats, are you going to sell your a cappella? So I don't know if you've heard that kind of comparison before.
That's very true. That's very true. Like I said, the beat might be very, very good. You just need someone to just say, and the song is like a banger. You can see that's Saz, Good Morning, My Neighbor. What did they sing in that song? That beat was like carrying that whole song. You see what I mean? Anybody could have just added one or two things and it'd be a banger. So you need a great producer to make a very, very good beat. You rarely see any a cappella that is... I can't remember the last time I saw an a cappella that blew up and you're like, oh, stop.
It's true,
stop.
right?
It's very, very hard, so I would say maybe 60-40 if I was going to even give up.
Dang, a
I was
cappella.
60-40 because the beat alone is, like I said, even if you give an artist like a whack beat, you have to struggle. There was one freestyle I saw on Burna Boy's story one time. I think he went somewhere in the Arabs, and then somebody was making a beat, and Burna Boy was trying to freestyle, and he couldn't get anything. Burna Boy was like, "This beat is trash."
Right.
I don't know if you guys seen that story, but I was like, even Burna Boy couldn't flow to that kind of beat. So it's, if the beat is whack, forget it. No artist is gonna do wonders on that song. That's my own take.
Even if you do an a cappella, you still need a producer to mix and master this thing. You still need someone tracking. You still need an engineer. So at the end of the day, not even an a cappella could go. So
that makes sense. I don't know, Manifest, if you want to add anything to that.
Okay, so I think from what everyone has said, obviously, we are both important, and from what Jeb is saying, it's more like you can work with a beat that it's very good, but not with an artist that does not know what he or she is doing. So I feel like the 60-40 really makes sense.
I'll add one more thing too, and I think, I guess just plainly said, if you're an artist, it needs to be your priority to learn how to produce and how to play an instrument, or at the very least, know how to use your vocal, and something that's super accessible to everyone is writing as well. There's no reason why you shouldn't be writing if you're an artist. You can't step into a room of people that have put hours a day for years at a craft and expect everyone to just drop a hat, So put the effort in. If I could go back in time, I would pick up a MacBook and some type of DAW at 9 years old. At 9 years old, and literally learn that. I mean, I happened to pick up a guitar at 9 years old, and so I'm a proficient guitarist, and I happen to sing very well as well.
Oh wow!
But if I could go back, I would have picked up a MacBook.
I think this one you just say right now is really valid, because there are a lot of music artists out there that don't even know how to record themselves. So I feel like recording yourself as an artist should even be the basic. It even makes it easier, especially even when you are in the session. You just know what you want. Do you understand what I'm saying? It makes it faster. When you're working with a music producer, they can send you beats. You should have it, even if it's a mini setup, because most artists, we're not saying you should have the most massive setup of all
Yeah.
time, but something mini at least that you can record yourself, do some covers, and it's going to help you a lot. We're not trying to say you should mix it like an engineer would. We're just saying at least you should have a very basic knowledge on that. And that is a really valid point there from Rico right there. And I just wanted to say, Jeb, have you ever been disrespected by an artist before
Very well
in
now.
a session?
I feel like this is a producer thing. Like even him sometimes, like I might be in the studio with him and I'm like, bro, cause we work a lot. And I might be like, oh, what do you think about this idea? And he'd be like, even me, I'll be like, this guy doesn't like the idea, I won't say that's disrespect, but I've been in a situation where like artists will be like, well, just load my preset, or like just don't worry what you're doing, just do my own stuff. I'm here to do my work as a producer, but then shut up, I'm paying you, so do what I want. So it's like, why even pay me as a producer if you're going to tell me what to do? So I think that's kind of
exactly.
disrespectful. But at the same time too, I've also learned from that, like sometimes too, artists also have like good ears and good ideas. Like I said with him, sometimes he'll tell me like, oh, I don't like this thing, I'm hearing something else. And I'm like, okay, let me hear what you're saying. And it actually makes more sense.
Okay.
So sometimes it's a bit of like, I'm learning too and they're learning from me too. But if I see where they don't want to even take what I'm saying, I might not have a different session with you again. That might be our last session. If that's the kind of artist as you are. I'm very, very serious. Me and him, we worked, when did we start working? 2023?
Yeah, like 2023.
We worked for 3 years, making music,
Wild.
doing stuff together.
Wow.
So
I think that comes to understanding at the end of the day. How about you, Manifest Sound? Have you encountered such
So
before?
I really don't work with artists like making beats and all of that, but I would say it just depends. Sometimes when I like walk into sessions and all of that, I just have this like self-awareness and self-worth. So there's really nothing the artist would want to do that will intimidate me. Even if he just wants me to do something, I'll just make him know that from a professional standpoint, let's do it this way. But if he still insists that, okay, I paid you for this session, do this, okay, no problem. But I'm self-aware and I have my self-worth, so I'm not intimidated in whatsoever way. Do you get?
Making sense. And just to add to one thing that Jeb said about artists trusting the process, as a music producer, when you're working with your music producer, you came to him for a reason, trust the process. Do you think artists actually know what producers bring to the table? Because some of them would, want to work with you, and at the end of the day, they'll be the one to tell you, put this one, put that one, put this one, and they are not like allowing you to, flow in the session. So do you think some artists sometimes they don't really know what the producer brings to the table, or they just can't, work or collab with a producer? I think I'm going to throw this to the artist right there for us.
Eric, take this one.
I feel like a lot of artists need to have self-awareness of how much they know, how many hours they've put into the craft. And then when they walk into a room with producers and songwriters, they need to put that into perspective, contrasted to how many hours they've put into their craft. Like Jeb was saying, producers and obviously musicians, we have a developed ear for some things, sometimes artists are so far away from studio time or like working on a DAW that they don't really understand what they're hearing, sometimes they literally won't hear things, period, or sometimes they just can't explain what they're hearing. Maybe they feel it, So I do feel like to a certain degree, I've told Jeb this as well too, is like producers are artists too. If Jeb wanted to drop an album tomorrow, he could drop an album like for real. And literally you've done gigs where you've DJ'd as well and played your own beats. And so with that in mind, if you're going to hire a producer, the whole point is collaborative effort, even for someone that's 100%er, you could sit at home and you can write the song, you can track the instruments, you can mix and master everything. But at the end of the day, it's just you. The reason you want to work with somebody is because you want to collaborate on that artistry. and that chemistry that happens. And also to learn. You want to learn. Like, let me see what the flow is over here. I admire what Jeb is doing. Let me see what his flow is like. And then that's how, you collaborate and learn off of each other, essentially. I think that's when the best collaborations happen. Yeah, they need to put more respect on producers for sure. I just think they need to just raise their awareness and educate themselves a little bit. I mean, I'm an artist, so I'm just talking about my process. I've been through all of this as well. I
just hope the artists here will not.
Because look, Jeb will tell you, when I came to Jeb, I had 0 studio time, essentially. I had close to 0 studio time, probably less than like a dozen sessions in a studio. And thanks to Jeb, I started producing. I bought a MacBook. I bought, like you said, like a small setup for the house.
Exactly.
The Apollo Twin, a MIDI controller, condenser mics, all of that. And through that process, have learned how to produce. And then that really gives you perspective. And it also arms you. Like, you're kind of just putting like weapons in your artillery of things you can do,
Exactly. And it even makes it, when you're in this session, due to the fact that you have experience, you're used to those things, it even makes the work easier for the producer, because sometimes you work with artists where they literally don't know what they want. And you just go in forth and back. But for an artist that is used to recording himself, that is used to what a session is like, it makes it working with a music producer very easy. Thanks to streaming, it makes there are a lot of independent artists right now, all thanks to streaming. Because before, it's quite difficult, to put your music out there, and you need a lot of help from the label. And these days, we even have a lot of sub-labels. Like, labels don't choke.
Yeah, 100%.
Any artist can just make a hit today and start up a label.
Yeah.
I feel when it even comes to label, many people are not really educated about that as well. They just feel, oh, I have thousands of dollars in my account. Oh, I just saw one or two nice guy, or my younger brother or my cousin. Let's start a label. At the end of the day, they just bring up some kind of contracts. And they just look for any artist that, that's desperate. And the artist doesn't even read it. Their mindset is, oh, when I get the fame. Because there's this mindset also that artists have, and I feel that they should stop it. If you're an artist you're watching, they have this mindset of everyone was used. So it's not a bad thing if I'm used before I make it in life. You see a lot of artists, when you try to educate them about don't sign bad deals, read your contract, they will be like, oh, so artist, he paid off for him, so artist, he paid off for him. So it's now looking like it's the roadmap to success as an artist. You must be used by a label before you blow. So I feel like artists shouldn't necessarily have that mentality. When it comes to label and artist, be so good as an artist that when a label comes to you, it's more like a partnership. Everyone is a business. That's how good you want to be as an artist. Don't be too desperate, because when they see how good you are, they are definitely going to bring something to your table, because they see you as a very nice product that is going to make a lot of money for them. Because any label that is signing an artist, they believe that whatever money they're going to put in, they're going to generate more revenue from that. I'm talking about real labels, so not sub-labels that just start up something. Yeah, so I feel as an artist, I always advise my friends that are artists, be so good that when these labels, they come, it's more of a partnership and not more of do this, do that. And this is going to be something controversial. People will always say maybe label don't like to sign artists that know too much, because it might, give them some issues. They prefer to sign artists that know nothing about the music business. So that way they make it look like, oh, you're enjoying, when at the end of the day, they have their own end goal. So as a music producer, as an artist, as a songwriter, whatever you are, you want to educate yourself on that side.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of industry podcasts. So people that are songwriters in the industry, producers in the industry, managers in the industry. Yeah. I listen to a lot of podcasts on that. And that's the only education I have on it, man. No one teaches you this type of stuff, And I do think it's something that more artists and producers and writers need to educate themselves on, because sometimes you have money sitting out there you don't even know about, especially if you're like an independent artist, and you don't want to be taken advantage of, man. When you were talking about it's a business partnership, like you should, basically be in the best position in that partnership as you possibly can. I thought about Pop Smoke. You guys know who Pop Smoke is?
Yeah, definitely.
The rapper out of New York City. He got approached by a record label. They invited him over to the building. It was like a high-rise, super nice office, a whole bunch of suits. Yeah. And they're selling him a dream of like, oh, this record deal is gonna be ba 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 ba. And the story was apparently that he leaned back in his chair and he put his Timbs on the table, kunk, kunk, and he said, "Why should I sign with you? What like?"
That's the confidence, man.
And he walked out. Yeah, he walked out without signing with them and ended up getting a better deal down the line. But it's kind of something like that, and not to rant on this, but I went to this event called Pass the Aux in LA. And I actually showed a bunch of producers. I'm talking about like major producers, like probably like the most notable one was one of Pitbull's producers, okay? It was an Indian kid. I forget his name now, but I showed him our song, Yama. And everybody loved it. It was a room of like 12 of us. I have a video of this.
Okay.
And I will not forget, there was an A&R in the room, and the A&R basically asked how many followers and what the streams and monthly listeners were. And then he was like, yeah, we're kind of just looking for someone that already has momentum. And I was like, dang, okay, cool. So basically the record label doesn't want to do any work. They want you to do all the work so that they can profit off of you and maybe abuse the fact that you have no industry knowledge. That's the vibe that I got from that interaction. So just to echo the point that you said.
Yeah, I mean, that's when you look at it that way, but at the same time too, I wouldn't say record labels are like all bad, because, they also do a lot of investing on that end. Sometimes they'll spend a lot of money and they don't make that money back too. That was my own devil's advocate I was going to play.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree.
Definitely, we're not trying to be, say maybe we're against the labels. We're just trying to say, as much as you're an artist and you want to sign that contract, you want to make sure you know what you are signing, and you want to make sure you are very good as an artist. It makes them, when they come, it's more partnership because they know you are really good. You have nothing to prove. Just like Rico said, I think there was a time in Nigeria, because that's where I'm from, and I think that's why I follow more of the music. I don't know if Manifest can even attest to it. There was a time in Nigeria where labels go and look for maybe artists that are not really known. Then they blow them up. Then maybe when the artist blows up, maybe after 1 or 2 years, the artist leaves the label and feel like, okay, I'm good enough. I don't know, I might be wrong, but I feel maybe over time, labels got tired of that, street story. Then you blow up and you leave me, and now they are more momentum, like you said. Because if you look at most of the artists that are being signed right now in Nigeria, they have a amount of following before they even sign you. Before, you don't need to even have that. But right now, it's more on the following. When they see, okay, you already have an edge, they bring you in. So it's not even more of a partnership, like I even said, unlike what it used to be before. And even Don Jazzy, which owns one of the biggest labels in Nigeria, he will always tell you that if you're an artist, how he gets to sign his artists, he goes to their page and he tries to see what they are doing. And you hear him say things like, you're an artist, you don't have a post, you don't have 2 posts. How do you expect me to sign you? So that's the shift in this whole label thing. So you see, it still boils down to what I'm saying. Yeah. Be so good that it's a partnership. I think we'll have a special episode for this for this label artist, because we can go on and on. So I think we'll have a special episode. If you guys want that, let me know. Still speaking about the label and artists, do you think right now, this goes for anyone that want to answer this, do you guys think marketing is more important than skill right now when it comes to the music industry?
Yes, obviously.
Okay.
All right, so let me just add what I have noticed like doing business online. Most of the time, you might have like the best products, but if you don't get it to the right, not even the right people, if a lot of people don't see your product, then you'll be losing out. So, for instance, I sell stuffs online, and I have people that they don't have a product even very good as mine, but they are getting more sales. Why? Because they're able to market it. And what people actually tend to buy what is marketed to them, not what is actually good. So it means if I have the best product and I'm not marketing, I'm not making people say that, okay, I have this very good product, then I don't get sales. So that means that if you have talent and you are not marketing it, you just be somewhere there, and someone not as talented as you are is getting the old shine and all of that. So what I feel is talent is important, and I don't know if I'm still answering your question, but talent is
definitely,
important.
definitely.
Having a good product is important, but marketing it is very important. It's more like saying that should even take like 70%. Because 30% is the talent, but marketing it is really important. Yeah.
That's really valuable. Anyone wants to add something to that?
Yo, Manifest, that was a phenomenal illustration. Phenomenal illustration. Yeah, a literal product. It's a literal product you're selling. It's like Louis Vuitton, literally. Like you're basically just paying for the status of that emblem that they've created, like for lack of better words, intrinsically, kind of like diamonds even. That's a phenomenal, I like that illustration a lot, man, for real. But just to echo that, it's true. Marketing is more important than talent. There's a lot of examples that we know in today's, I guess, music landscape, for lack of better words. It's, I mean, I don't want to say anything crazy about any artists, but there are definitely some artists, that are particularly known for their marketing abilities and not necessarily for their talent.
I think that's a valid one, because even sometimes you listen to a song, for instance, for the first time, second time, third time, you don't really like the song, but they keep promoting the song, like you keep hearing it every time, and all of a sudden you fall in love with the song. So yeah, even like on my Manifest, they run ads. Jeez,
Bro, I have to.
So imagine,
Even big
so
top guys are running
imagine
it.
you are seeing Manifest Audio's sample packs, sample packs, sample packs, sample packs, sample packs. You'll be forced to, I have to buy this sample pack. I remember when Kyle Beats, shout out to Kyle Beats. Hopefully you come to my podcast one day. I remember when he when he dropped his plugin Drip. Oh my God.
Just 2 clicks.
Oh my God.
Just 2 clicks?
Everybody saw that ad. Everybody saw that ad.
Oh my God.
Oh my
That was the
God,
ad,
like,
just 2 clicks?
Just 2 clicks. I think that's when
just
the name
2
of his
clicks.
company
Like,
or something
the
like that.
ad, it got to a point where he had a podcast. I think he did a video with Ross, and Ross was like, he kept seeing Cow Beats video that he was like, he used to do something with this guy. So at the end of the day, you see how important marketing is, promoting your product is. That's why most times they tell you one of the greatest commodity you have as an artist right now is creating content and promoting your song. Sometimes you might feel like, I don't have money to give to so people. How am I going to, bro? Shoot videos and just keep promoting your song. Trust me, just keep doing it. The more people keep seeing one thing, they will be forced to do it. So, Jeb, with what Manifest just said, would you rather work with a talented unknown or a mid artist with following?
That's a hard one. That's a hard one. I mean, as much as I also want to put out something that people would see, market it. I also want to put out something that's original that I personally like. I've gotten to a stage where I'm not even chasing like people to come and look at my stuff or people to come find me. I'm just more also of the quality right now. That's my own phase in life right now. Somebody else might have a different phase, but
Definitely.
now I'm also like looking for quality than just marketing subpar music or subpar quality stuff. That's why if you notice anything, I've not dropped a lot of stuff in a while. Not because I don't want to drop anything, because I want to also drop something that has quality and value. A lot of people are dropping packs, doing ads. I even see more ads than my own stuff, and I'm like, this is nice stuff. And then I check it out, I'm like, okay. But me, it's not like I don't want to do that. I just want to make sure I'm, putting enough time and adding enough quality before I put stuff out. So, same thing. I would prefer to work with someone that has more talent than someone that is like, okay, popular and you're mid. because I might work with you and I might get more people reaching out to work with me, which is a plus. But at the same time, so I'm also at the stage in my life where I'm also looking for good stuff. I wouldn't say I'm out here.
You just dropped an amazing plugin, bro. What are you talking about?
I mean, no. I mean, even with that, I've not done enough marketing. I've not done enough marketing as I should.
Oh,
with that,
I get what you're saying.
because I'm working on something else. I put that as like a test run to see what's good. I'm working on something else. On the ground that I'm still gonna bring out, and I'll probably do heavy
We're
marketing on that.
anticipating it, bro.
Yes, but for the most part, like I said, I'm more 100% into work quality than anything else. So I would even when I reached out to Eric, then I don't think he had. How many songs did he have on Spotify then?
I might be at that time. I might have had one or two. I think I literally had one or something. Right?
Still, we still need to put out more songs. But when I met him, I think I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw him performing somewhere, and I was like, this guy is actually good, man. Let me send him a DM.
Thanks.
I probably sent up to like 20 people a DM then, because I moved to this town recently, and I was like trying to reach out to artists locally. And he was the only person that even replied to me. Other people would like look at my messages and say okay and not say anything. And we met up. I had dinner. I think it was dinner or lunch. I had lunch, yeah.
Yeah.
We like
the Monica.
ever since then we've been like working.
Yep.
So I'm always more looking for people that are actually good than meet people. And even if you're going to pay me, I'm at the point where even if you're going to pay me, I can tell you no, I don't want to work with you. That's the level I've gotten to as a producer.
I'm not sure everyone will do that.
Yeah. Back in the day, trust me, I work with anybody. Back in the day, I don't care as long as I'm learning. Because when I started, I was more so into learn as much as I could. I would do free work. I don't even care. Let's finish the song. That was just my own goal back in the day. But these days now, like it's like it has to be at least good enough for me to even say produced by me. Because I've also learned that yes, you might work on something for somebody, and then you put out something that's trash. You don't know who is listening to that thing. Someone might listen to it, and then they'll listen to it and like, this guy is not even that good. They wouldn't even know that, you're actually better than this. They'll think that's all you are about. I'll give you another instance. I met this artist that I was trying to work with. I kept sending her DM like, hey, let's link up and work. Since I'm an African person, I'm a Nigerian boy, she thought like, this guy is only gonna make Afrobeats. I don't do Afrobeats, so I'm not gonna work with him. I kept bugging. And finally, we linked up and made a song together, and it was an R&B song. And she was like, I didn't know you could make R&B. I thought you were an Afrobeat producer. And I'm like, yes, just because I'm an Afrobeat producer doesn't mean I can't do all that stuff. So it's more so the same thing. People might just look at you and paint you like, okay, this is how you are. You're a whack person. They will not look at your next track. They will not look at what you put out before and like you've grown. They'll use what you put out before to judge you to where you are now. So that's the level I've gotten to. Is like, I don't want to do anything that is like made just because you're going to pay me,
Yeah, that was a phenomenal point too. That's like your resume. People are going to be looking back at what you've worked on. Totally random tangent, but that makes me think about removing some of my songs off of Spotify. The only reason I don't is because you can see the process of me getting better, for lack of better words. But at one point that I was going to say too, something that resonated with me massively a while ago. One of my favorite songwriters, he's an artist now as well, is this Colombian kid named Fade. You guys have probably heard of him. Maybe not, I don't know. But he was a songwriter that eventually became an artist. And he was in an interview on some type of morning show in Colombia. And he said, you have to be, as an artist and as a songwriter that's going to be singing those songs, you have to be very aware of what you're writing, because you're committing to singing this basically for the rest of your career. And that's kind of the same line of reasoning. I applied that to this question in the sense of like, if this is going to be something that your career is attached to, basically forever, you're going to want to make sure that it's something that you can be proud of, down the line. And as a songwriter, I think of like, what am I writing? There's things that I've written about in previously released songs that I don't think I'll ever write again. Just because I've learned like, I don't actually enjoy singing about that. It almost feels like a character sometimes. As far as my artist goes, I'll write about it for another artist for sure, but I don't want to sing about that anymore. And maybe as a producer, that can happen to you guys too, where maybe you're exploring different, I guess like inspos, if you will, different sounds, and then you look back and you're like, I don't really associate with that anymore.
I mean, it's part of growth. If anything, it's part of growth.
Would you guys say, due to this whole marketing better than skill. Would you say it's also killing the quality of music that we are having right now?
100%.
Because maybe this
100%.
the ones that have the marketing skill or so ever, they are not really bothered about how good the music is.
Yeah.
They just feel, oh, if I keep pushing it, people will like it. So do you think it's killing the quality of music?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, because let me just say that because of the era that we are in the world, the lifespan,
Yeah.
like the attention span of how people really consume music is really so reduced. So it means that we just listen to anything popping up, trending. Even if it's not a good music, we just listen. And there are really some nice music like that some artists has worked on, but they don't really get that visibility. So we can say marketing your song as the good side if you have a good song actually. But if you don't have like a
Yeah.
great song too, you are just polluting the
Trying your
whole
luck.
music industry with your song. But yeah, I believe marketing has the good side and the bad side to it, the negative side.
And if I could tag something on the end of that, there was
Yeah.
eight songs nominated for Record of the Year at the Grammys this year. 6 of them were sampled. One of them was a direct sample. Doechie's Anxiety. She literally just ripped the vocals off of that thing and then freestyled over it. And that was the song.
wow.
That was one of 8 songs that was nominated for Record of the Year. So if that doesn't show you how drastically the quality of music has dropped over the years, I don't know what does. 'Cause if you look back in the 80s, we're talking about whose records were those? It was Michael Jackson, Prince, Stevie Wonder, like legends of the game. And now it's I love what Doechie's doing, but how did Doechie's Anxiety
Yeah.
get nominated for Record of the Year? It makes no sense to me. So I don't know how that relates to marketing, but the music thing for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely. Because like I said, me personally, like I said, everyone is entitled to their opinion. Me personally, I feel the whole thing is actually killing quality of music. Because even me as a music producer and also an artist, sometimes when I go on Spotify, because we listen to gain inspiration. And when I try to go on Spotify to listen to music, like I find it so difficult to listen to something that I like. Sometimes I have to start going back. Like
Yeah.
there's a song I did like few days ago. You won't believe that I had to get inspiration from 2000 to 2010 playlists. Like that was where I
Yeah.
got the inspiration to be able to make that music. So it also feels like music these days are not timeless. Like right now, what song would you say is trending right now?
Any Marvel song. I'm sorry. Any Marvel- I mean, I won't say Marvel is not a good artist, but Marvel.
those days we know,
Man.
like we know when a song is global. We know that
Yes.
this song, Lil Wayne, Tucci, Eminem. We know when a song, but right now we don't know, man.
I think also
We don't
because
know,
it happens
so-
kind of efforts that people put into making music.
Right.
Back in the day, people would
Right.
put a lot of effort into music.
Yeah.
These days now it's like one person, mouse and keyboard.
Mouse and keyboard,
Yes.
bro.
One person
Even
is
in
doing the whole
the AI
thing.
era, so people just
Exactly,
generate the
so-
music.
Prompt AI to make something for you. You're you don't finish music.
Wait, what song do we think is trending right now? I actually want to look this up. Like, I off the top of my head, I think about Kehlani's "Folded."
I mean, that's a good song.
That's a phenomenal song. That's a phenomenal song. But what other song? I almost want to look at the top 10 or something right now.
I mean, you can check.
You
can
see,
check.
you have to look at it.
Yeah.
But then
He said, "See."
I know Marvel might be one of the top 10 right now.
But
I'm not saying Marvel
then
is not
we
a great
just
artist,
know.
but you can see like.
yeah, Joey, but you were saying something.
I'm saying if you check, you can see Marvel is probably one top 10. I'm not saying Marvel is not a great artist, but I'm saying like, you know how your parents will say, "What kind of song are you listening to?" Back in my day, when I'm playing my songs, it has meaning. These days,
Yeah.
songs don't have meaning. So, I also think it's also in kind of like growth. I wouldn't also necessarily say like it's a bad thing per se, because in say like 2010, songs that were coming out, our parents didn't like those kind of songs. And we now, when we listen to songs from 2010, you're like, this was a banger.
Yo, this is so true.
So it's like in the next few years from now, maybe songs like Marvel songs that people are like, they'll be like, oh, this song is a banger, and new songs, then it'll be like, what's this person singing? That's just the way I think it is. I don't think it's a bad thing. I just think like it's growth and generation is changing. Things are changing. Times have changed. So the songs that you even think are not timeless to you might be timeless to somebody else.
This is true.
Somebody that's younger than you might not even. I don't know if you've seen. I saw this clip on Instagram of some kids singing this Ice Spice and the Ice Spice song, SpongeBob song.
Oh yeah.
And they were like going crazy singing that song. And then I remember when I was
Big guy.
younger, they were
Big guy.
yes, they were going crazy singing that song. People would be like, "This song is trash," but like when we were younger, there were songs that we would dance and sing to, and we'd be like, we would sing it our whole lives out. And our parents would tell us like, "Please, if you sing the song again," So
Yeah. I feel like this whole marketing thing, I'm still trying to, still say why I feel like it's reducing the quality, because most
Everybody
times
wants to
top
make quick
10 is
bucks.
not top 10 anymore. Top 20 is not top 20 anymore.
Hmm.
Top 10 is just all about who is pushing their song more, who is farming more. They are farming a lot of streams these days.
Yeah, bro. Like, look.
So,
No, my bad. I was just gonna say one thing. Die with a Smile, Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga. I love the song. I think it's a phenomenal song. I actually am a huge fan of that song. But that song blew up so fast. I kind of looked at Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars and I was like, what are y'all? Are y'all farming something here? How? It made no sense.
Everybody
to me.
farms.
Everybody's
Everybody
farming.
farms.
Exactly, bro. No, but I'm sorry. Go ahead, Manifest.
No, so I just wanted to say that, okay, some of the times, I don't think everybody farm, just my own opinion. I feel like some songs just pop up on TikTok and a lot of people just use it. Like, for example, Closer by Oxlade wasn't necessary. It was promoted when it was released, but I think it took a while before it now really blew up the way it blew up. So I'm just saying sometimes not everybody do like, they might even do a massive promotion and not get results. But later down the line, the song now takes
That's a
off.
very good point.
blows up.
There's a few songs like that.
That's really valid. That's really valid. So let me add something very controversial. Like I said, I was supposed to throw in some videos, but to save time, I didn't want to do that. I don't know if any of you, the artists here might get angry for this, but producers, I don't know if any of you see these videos where artists will be like, they're going to steal our beats on YouTube. They're going to steal our beats anywhere we put it, and they're going to use it. When it blows up, then we can come for them. Anything that happens. So what do you guys think about artists stealing beats?
Ooh, yeah, bro. You got some stories.
artists stealing beats is something that is not going to stop. I feel like it's still something that's always going to happen. Even we as producers, so I feel like a lot of people still steal other producers' beats too and make it as their own. I don't think stealing is going to stop anytime soon. But artists that keep stealing beats, it's not that hard to take down your song if you put it out there. it doesn't cost us anything. It's also more a thing of pride at some point. You would just be like, okay, I don't even care, even if I don't take down the song. Some artists will be like, oh, you're taking down my song. How much is it? Pay the money now if it was that deep for you. Pay the money if you feel like it was, that was my own take. I just feel like stealing is not something that you can easily just kick away. It's something that's always going to be there. I can't really say I have a standing on it. I just don't like it's something that's a challenge in the music industry. Producers spend a lot of money on plugins. Artists also feel like, oh, I'm spending a lot of money on this music. So they don't really, some artists don't even see the vision. They don't see like the future. All they think about is right now I'm broke. I just want to put my music out there. Help me out. They want the I beg mentality. Please help me. We as producers too, you're like, I'm spending time making beats for you. I'm putting hours. I'm buying gear. I'm buying microphones. I'm buying software. It's not cheap. I will not give it to you for free. Come on, so.
Come on.
There's the artist side and there's
you
the producer side.
You think producers are too expensive?
Yes and no.
Because that's what artists will argue, and that's why they are stealing our beats.
If you feel like it's cheap, if you feel like I'm too expensive, no offense, go to somebody else. That's just how I see it. There's no bad blood there. Because you as a producer too, you don't want to waste your time and not make your own money back too. So
definitely.
There are different sides to it, but as a producer, I definitely think like it's wrong because I won't let you just do my beats and you're even making... The one that hit the most is, say you're even making money from it and I'm not getting paid anything. That's happened to me a lot of times. Producers will steal my own beats to give other artists to use it. And I'm getting $0. You want me to be smiling at you guys and like letting you guys rack up the millions. And it doesn't make any sense. It's not fair in any way. Music.
Definitely.
One thing too about music business and like the music industry is like they don't care. People are out to rape you, and this another thing that people need to also consider when you're going into music. People are going to rape you. It's not, if as a producer, or as an artist, or at a record label, those three. If it's not the artist that's ripping you, the record label is going to rip you. That's why people are also going very, very independent. People just want to do their own thing themselves. Some people there's some artists that don't even want to use any YouTube beats. They'll tell you, please, no YouTube beats. I want to just do my own thing because they don't want anybody to come from anywhere to collect anything from them. So it depends. It depends on how the angle you're looking at it from. I can't really give you like a direct say and okay, this is
straight answer.
Obviously, it's wrong to steal. Everybody steals. Producer steals. Artist steals. Everybody steals. That's all I can say. Yeah. Manifest. You want to take
Manifest. You want to say something?
Back to you.
No, I feel like Jeb have said everything. Yeah, like the stealing is not going to stop anytime soon, and it's just the internet. People steal stuff online, PDFs, music, and all of that. And I just wanted to say that Jeb said, I think Ancient said that our music producers are expensive. And Jeb already said it just depends on your self-worth and the context per se. Because Jeb also said he can work with someone that is not so popular, not obviously because of the money, but just because you believed in the person. And you can work with some people and be like, okay, this is my fee. If you are going to pay it. And if you're not going to pay it, you can walk away. So I feel like Jeb already, did
Jeb, even to add to that point, if somebody comes to me like, oh, I want to pay you for this, and even if I wasn't necessarily going to charge you, the moment you come out with like, I want to pay you for this, and then you start backing up, I don't care anymore, you're paying me. I don't want to, you cannot come and tell me I want to pay you for something, and then next minute you're like, oh, we are no. You already put water in my Gary. You can't take out that water back, please. I must shop that Gary with that water. That's me personally, so even if I'm going to work with you for free, sometimes it's more so like how you lead and how you come to somebody. Some artists would definitely not pay you, but will go to somebody else and pay them a lot of money, which is like not fair at the same time too. So artists do it a lot. I don't know if you're guilty. What artists do it.
But my take. Well, first of all, I think the only producer that I've what's it called? We went to go see what's this guy, John Sullivan. Yeah. I guess. To be fair, I think that's the only time I've like paid for like I guess production. You know what I'm saying? And that was a dope experience as well. I will say this. Here's my controversial take and like a clippable moment, I guess. I do feel that like to a certain degree, just to go back and repeat what I said. Like if you're an artist, you need to learn at least how to create a demo or something like that. You need to learn how to use a DAW. You need to learn how to track vocals. You need to learn how to track your instrument. You should learn some pretty basic stuff. And as controversial as it may seem, through my experience working in music for the last few years, I've been a musician my whole life, right? But like a bedroom musician, I've been doing... I've been, I guess, a full-time musician since 2022. So what is that, 4 years now?
Oh, wow.
What I've learned is, like you're not really giving it your all as an artist if you're not trying to produce, if you're not trying to at least engineer in some way. And I will live by the sword and die by the sword, but can you really call yourself an artist if you don't know how to track or produce? Like
you can,
but okay. Some people do. Some people do. What I'm saying is, if you're saying I'm a musician, I'm an artist, I'm a singer, and you don't know how to, what are you doing? You're not. That's what I'm saying. You're not trying hard enough, and then that's when you have incidences of increased use of AI. The CEO of Suno. Or maybe was it the founder? It was either the founder or the CEO. But he basically said something to the effect of, learning an instrument is horrible. I sent you that clip, right?
Really?
No one wants to sit. He said, no one wants to sit down and learn how to play piano. No one wants to learn how to play guitar. And I was like, bro, speak for yourself. It's like microwave. Everything is microwavable now in today's society. And so off of the back of that, I'm just trying to say, If you're an artist and you're serious about it, A, you got to put the money up. B, you should be learning everything. You should be learning everything. Because just like a DAW is just as much a part of your music career as your instrument is.
I still feel like, just to be more controversial, you don't need to learn everything as an artist. Sometimes you can let the producer do their thing. Me, I also like the idea of you as an artist come with your talents. You don't have to know what I'm doing. Yes, you can know how to do it by yourself, but if you're coming to work with me or if you're going to collaborate, sometimes it's just cool to do your own thing. Even as producers, like sometimes you're working with producers, right? Sometimes you say that you are doing too much as a producer. Like, say you're doing a collab, maybe there are like 3 producers. One person wants to do the drums, one person wants to do the guitar and the melodies, one person wants to do something else. You know, you can't do everything and give them the beat and say, you guys come and bring your own ideas to it. You know, sometimes you have to do something and let other people bring their own ideas. So that's how I feel. You know, you don't necessarily have to know how to do everything as an artist. Sure, you know, it doesn't mean that you're less of an artist. That's just my own contribution.
Or it's like an added advantage for you to...
Yes, it's an added advantage, 100%. You know, obviously it's going to help you navigate yourself. But at the same time, too, it's also more like, look at the big artists. Look at Wizkid. Do you think Wizkid sits down to click record when he's going to the studio? He might not. But with the level he's at, I'm sure what he's looking for now is quality music.
Yes.
He wants to collaborate with whoever it is. See who mixes the song, who produces the song. You know, it takes it to Dro to mix the song. You know, he's looking for the people that have quality. He's not more looking for like, oh, I want to do it myself. I'm trying to save costs. No. So you're going to get to that point where as an artist, you just want to be an artist. That's all you want to do. You don't want to care. Even when you go talk about record labels, right? As an artist, you're doing everything yourself. You're your producer, manager, market, every single thing. If you're in the record label, you're focusing on only your artistry as an artist. Yes, it's good to have other skills, but then there's also room to shine when you bring one thing and focus on one thing. That's just how I feel about it.
That's a very good point. That last one is a phenomenal point.
Even if you say AI is going to do replacements, I feel at the end of the day, it's going to be like, are you replaceable by AI? Are you that good that AI is going to replace you?
To your point, I think AI will cause a massive rift, a separation of the microwavable people and the people that actually honed in on their craft. Mm-hmm. And this is going to be, for lack of better words, the value to that is going to hit 0, and the value to this is going to skyrocket.
We'll go high.
You know? And I was going to say one thing just to tag on. But, okay, so you don't think Wizkid is at home tracking demos?
I mean, it probably is, but it's not the one you're hearing in the
that for sure. That for sure.
Not the one you're hearing in the album.
I agree with that. Okay, cool.
I mean, maybe where my
But my thing is, some artists aren't even tracking demos. That's what I'm fighting.
Okay, I mean, sure. I mean, I'm not like taking away from your points. I'm just saying like.
By the way, I'm trash at producing. Just that I thought I should let y'all know. I'm talking some big game like I'm good at this. Nah.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing so hard, dude?
But you know how to record yourself, right?
I do, okay, you know?
That's cool.
One more thing I also want to say is the fact that artists will always say music producers are expensive, yeah? Like me and I recently, this is a new place. I'm trying to set up a studio here right now. And I went to the market yesterday for acoustics, different things. I know how much I'm spending already. Like, you see, it's still empty. I'm not done. Oh. You set up your studio with so much money. You buy equipment with so much money. And you expect the producer not to charge for the job. Like, I don't think it makes sense personally to me, though, because it takes a lot of financial stress for a music producer to set up his office, where there's a music studio. So I don't think artists should now say, hey, producers are expensive, or producers are this, producers are that. For instance, now you go to a producer that is recording you with an Apollo sound card, with a Neumann mic, with this like quality equipment, and
thousands of dollars.
Gives you what is, and he's charging you, and you're saying you are
okay. Let me ask you a question. let me ask you a question with that, right? Say you spend all your money. Let me look like an artist, right? Say you spend all your money as a producer. You've bought your expensive gear, every single thing, and then I come to you and you can't give me a quality good song. Do I still have to pay you a lot of money because you spent all your money on
quality music? I mean, is that what you said?
Yes, I can get a quality production from you.
Okay.
Yes, you
with
have
all the equipment.
Yes, with all the expensive equipment you have. Just because should I now still also like you go to school, right? You pay a lot of money for school fees, right? The person
Yeah.
that's paying your salary is not going to pay your whole school fees that you've paid for many years. That's also another take. I think some artists have as, them bringing money to the table. So there's that part I'm also like think about when I'm trying to work with artists. I'm not always gonna like charge you a lot of money just because I feel like I want to charge you money too. I try to look at artists, okay, where are you at? What can you give me? Because I'm not begging you for money. For me as a
Yeah.
producer, I'm not begging you to come and pay me. But I'm also looking at like the quality. But then going back to your point, money wise, you're not gonna get your money back from working with artists at one go. Except maybe you're like running a business.
Definitely.
Even as producers too, sometimes it's not worth it to invest in all this gear because how much are you making back? You buy a synthesizer that's like $10,000. How many beats are you going to sell before you make that 10 grand back? It's going to take you years, So there's it's neither here or there if you want to look at it from the artist's perspective or you want to be realistic about it. And that's just my own take.
Yeah, I would have to also say that no matter where you
Yeah.
land on the spectrum of artistry, which I'm putting producers inside of that spectrum. No matter where you land on the spectrum,
Yeah.
even if you're a visual artist, you can literally be a sculptor, okay? How many people that are on this spectrum actually make a living off of what they do? That's a phenomenal question too.
Even artists too, they will spend money on. That's why they always have that mindset. I spend money on recording beats. How much am I making off my streaming? How much do I make back? And they don't.
Well, yeah, at the end of the day, it's an investment regardless. So you're going to be bleeding money until you're in the green. So you do have to see it as
Definitely.
a business and as an investment. Because just like any business that you would invest in, right? Like people that bought NVIDIA like 2 or 3 years ago
Yeah.
are hella green right now. They're super happy right now, right? But who could have really predicted that it would have done as well as it did? Or even some more
As it
weird
did.
stocks like when GameStop popped off or Lululemon. At the end of the day, you're investing in a business you believe in, and then eventually it pops off. But yeah, the interesting part about all that is at the end of the day, most artists are, pouring into something that they want to be lucrative. You're watering a seed in the ground until
Yeah.
it sprouts fruit.
I mean, what I'm trying to say, just to add to what I say is, I feel like why I say this is because most of the time when I go, it's on TikTok, it's on Instagram, you see a lot of artists. I don't know if you guys see those videos.
Yeah, I see
a lot
those
of artists complaining
almost
that
every day.
producers are too expensive,
Yep.
producers are too this, producers.
Yeah.
And every time I see those videos, I'm like, every producer have a price range, right? If you feel this producer is too expensive, go to the next person. Because this producer is too expensive because of the time they've put in what they do, because of the experience they've put in what they do, because of the equipment also matter, because quality deserves quality equipment as well. So because a producer A is maybe charging you $200, $300, $500 for a job, doesn't mean they don't have good producer B that charge for $50 or even say, okay, let's try to, collaborate. So I feel like you as an artist, instead of complaining, you should go look for a level playing ground. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
I didn't start as a music
I
producer.
love that.
I started as an artist. Do you get? I started as an artist, but I had my uncle then that was sponsoring me, and I know how much when we worked with Mastercraft engineer, like worked with Casey Clef, some other, I know how much we were spending then. And I said to myself what I said to myself then was, someone is spending this money on my behalf.
Yeah.
Like, how long do I think he's going to keep doing this? So what did I do as an artist? I started learning music production. The idea of learning music production was to cut costs. Because I believe if I can produce my music, he doesn't necessarily have to start paying for sessions anymore. We move the money into something else. So as an artist, instead of complaining, learn how to record yourself. So you're buying only beats. Shout out to Ramen. He did a video. I even posted it on my story. You can lease beats of $30. If you know how to record yourself, you are saving a lot of money. You don't need studio time or whatever. You just pay $30 for a lease. Record yourself, test the ground. If the song is starting to make waves, just like how Ramen said, you can now, go for that. So I don't really advocate, maybe because I'm a music producer now, but I don't really buy this idea of music producers saying artists are expensive. Look for a level playing ground that works for you and, make it work. Because
I mean-
complaining won't change anything.
that's really the
Yeah, you
birth
want to
of.
say something?
I mean, that's really the birth of like home recording studios. You know, a
Exactly.
lot of people try to cut costs from big studios. That's why they made their home studios. It's the same way even with artists too.
Exactly.
They're trying to cut costs, so they will look for YouTube beats. Go to producer. How much is producer charging you for one beat in Nigeria? I don't know the current market price, but like let's say back then, maybe producer was charging like 250K or 500K for one beat, and then you go on YouTube and you buy a beat for like 10K. You know, and you like I've saved money. So I feel like that's also a lot of the things that add to like music reducing quality, and everything adds up. That's all I'm gonna say.
Very valid.
I liked your point
So
about finding some like the level playing field. You know, it
yeah,
reminded me
exactly.
of I think about these two examples like crazy. So you kind of like triggered the memory. Daniel Kaluuya, they interviewed him, and he said that when he got into acting, he was like, "Dang, I want to work with like," he named a bunch of big directors and big actors. These are like my
Yeah.
idols, and he gives the example of like when you're a freshman in high school, you don't hang out with seniors, you hang out with other freshmen. And then eventually what ends up happening is it's your class. You guys build something together as a class. And you build something so big that now everyone has no other option but to notice it or to recognize it. So his whole thing was play with the people in your class. You're not going to talk to the seniors, bro. Like the seniors don't want to hear you.
Definitely.
Play with the people in your class and then build something together that was huge. And then honestly, the best example most recently, it's something I've been following for years, but we've literally seen it climax, the pinnacle of it, just this year. Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan. They've been working together for years. Ryan Coogler, at the end of the day, in the beginning, he was a director no one really knew that well. Same with Michael B. Jordan. They both built their status up to the point where they are now Oscar-winning
Huge.
directors and actors. That's another classic example of playing with the people in your class or leveling the playing field. It's a phenomenal point.
Yeah, so I think that's basically it. So if you're an artist, you're a music producer, level playing ground, that's what we're trying to say. Don't complain. Somebody complain is too much. I just want to say the last thing I want us to say is where do you see, now everyone have to say something on this. Where do you see producer and artist relationship in the next 2-3 years? Now AI is involved. Where do you see that relationship? Do you think artists right now would lean more on AI because I pay $8 or so monthly and I generate thousands of beats? And do you feel music producers would be like, oh, I don't need an artist. I make my beats and use a particular AI platform to generate prompts and, create music. So where do you see this relationship between artists and music producers in the next coming years based on what's happening right now? So anyone can start.
Let me go first because I want to share a particular scenario. So my own prediction is that it might get stronger, and in terms of relationship between artists and producers, and this is why I said that.
Yeah.
So everybody know that AI is popping up, and there's this AI platform called Claude. So there was one day I was trying to be a programmer. I went into Claude and I was giving it some prompts. I wanted to create an app, and he actually created the app. Now, when he created the app, I was lost. I really didn't know what to do. I had a programmer friend and I had to call him that, okay, I had, created this prompt and he gave me this code, but I'm lost. I don't know what to do. Then he was now like telling me, okay, this is what you do next. Actually, I didn't do it. But what I'm trying to bring out is, fine, there's even an AI that can build applications. But if you're someone that really doesn't have a programming, like developing, like background, writing codes and all that, you will get stuck at a point. Then you will need someone that has knowledge about that thing and that field. So let's bring it to music. You're an artist, you're generating beats. It might not even give you exactly what you want in terms of beat. And you might need to correct something. You might need to tweak something. Okay, who do you call? You call a producer to help you out. And some of these AI platforms, even like Suno, makes it clear to you that whatever you generate might also be the same thing generated for someone else. So you might not be having copyright issues. But a producer can help you say, okay, yeah, let's pitch it up, let's do this, so that it doesn't look like the original one. So I feel like in this AI era, and for even producers too, we too can generate vocal samples, blah, blah, blah. But, it will get to a point where you'd feel like it's not really authentic. You still need like a real human to. So I feel like the relationship would get stronger because the thing about AI is that it is artificial. As humans, we will get to a point where we still really need that human touch. We can't just be prompting everything. You prompt, you already get the answer. Prompt, you get the answer. So my prediction is that it's going to get stronger because humans would always want that human connection. So that's my prediction for your question. Yeah.
I'm going to go.
Perfect,
I like that. Yeah, I
perfect.
think integration is inevitable. And I think that that's a phenomenal point and an angle that I didn't look at before manifest. But one thing that I would say is kind of echoing what I said earlier. If integration is inevitable, that means that essentially there's going to be a spectrum of how much AI is in it versus how much is not. We already have platforms like Deezer, which is not a very popularly used streaming service compared to Spotify. We already have platforms like Deezer that are labeling songs as AI and letting their listeners know, this. And apparently Deezer has the best tech to be able to identify even if like one or two tracks were AI only. That being said, that's kind of a defining line already in the sand of like, we don't value AI music particularly. Also, when you have people like Sam Altman, which is low-key Lucifer himself, saying that AI art has been found to effectively round its value to zero. If you attach a human to AI art, then the value starts increasing. And obviously, once you have just human generated art, that's where true value comes, right? I think that's what's gonna happen. We can't avoid AI integrating into music, but just like Manifest closed out, it's like people are going to want human connection, and I think that's gonna make imperfections in music sound a lot more enticing now. I think about if you listen to Justin Bieber's Yukon, right? Obviously the vocal is pitched up, but if you listen to the guitar track, it's kind of like a shitty played guitar. Like the guitar is, I'm sorry to use that word, my bad. It's kind of like a poorly played guitar, almost like they had trouble fretting it. Like, I can't quite get this bar chord down. It's an imperfection, If you listen to Daisies, it sounds like a 6-string bass. I don't know what it is, but also very lazily played bass. We are going to fall in love with imperfections in music because the imperfection is what's going to stand out to, the AI slop. And then just to close out my argument here, I heard, I'm starting with John Bellion and I'm going to close at John Bellion. I heard John Bellion on And the Writer Is, which is a phenomenal podcast I recommend. He says, at one point, we planted the apple seed in the ground. We watered the thing. The tree came out. We picked the apple. We ate it. Another point, it was, okay, now we're harvesting a lot of apples and we're bringing it to our family. Then eventually we're getting it from farmers. And then eventually we're getting it from the grocery store. Now we're door dashing it and they're bringing it to our feet. And then he says, at what point are we going to ask somebody to mash up an apple and shove it in our mouth? That's not what we don't, that's not what we want. That's not what we want. We're literally going to get to the point where we're just like, yo, I'm just going to go plant my own apple tree. That's kind of where we're at. We've gotten so far away from what it is that we're going to be like, no, that's not what that's not what this is about. It's actually about this. What are we doing? And that's kind of where I think the whole AI thing is going.
I mean, I hear what you guys are saying, and not to also sound like I'm not affected by AI. I feel like the average producer is going to be replaced by AI. The average artist is going to be replaced by AI. The reason why I say this is because a few weeks ago, I was with one of my friends, right? They were driving, and they were playing this song, and I was like, this song is AI. They couldn't even tell the song was AI. And the song was so good. Like, the song was very, 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 very good. I first checked who the artist was. I couldn't see any Instagram profile.
They had 6 fingers.
And then I found out it was an AI artist.
The artist was like this.
I found out it was an AI artist, right? But this my friend couldn't tell that song was an AI generated artist, and Spotify was just giving them like AI generated songs back to back, back to back. Even some songs, I even saw like a producer will make the song, but then get like an AI artist to sing it. Song is very good, beat is good, production is good, but the singing is AI. You might not know as a common listener, and some people are loving that AI stuff. You know, I even have a friend that her likeness was taken by AI, and I think the song they made like a diss with one big artist, and people kept going to our TikTok like, "Hey, I saw you made a diss about this person," and she was like, "This is not me, this is AI." They use the same name, exactly the same style of her. You know,
Wow.
some people can't tell what AI is going to do, and at the same time, even what Eric said about like imperfections. Forget what AI is. AI is an expert system, right? It's going to learn all that imperfections at some point, as much as you want. The only thing I think is good enough is to get to a point where AI cannot perform live. You're not going to go to a concert and see an AI singing for you. You want
What
to see
about
your real
hologram?
artist, yes, or a hologram singing for you. You want to see the real artist. I feel like AI is bigger than what a lot of people think, and a lot of people don't know that it's very, very scary. You know, AI back in 2019 is not AI in 2026. You know, so the more you think you can make something new, as long as you can make it
You can learn it.
into a yes, you can learn it. That's my point. Even with coding that Manifest was talking about, right? There's a way you even prompt the AI and you tell it, don't make any mistake, make every single thing to the T. Don't even ask me any dumb questions. Just make this thing for me. And you keep prompting it, and before you know it, you have gotten your thing up and running. You can even tell it, give me a dummy step by step to build this thing and make it work. And to give you, you know. So I don't think like, all I personally think is like AI will replace average artist and average producer. Just don't be the one that's going to get replaced. You might become a prompt engineer.
Don't
or
be
like you can,
average.
don't be average, basically. You can become a prompt engineer, but don't be average.
Clip this part.
Because once AI has replaced you, then what's the point? You have to go find something else to do. Because, you know, some things that we even know, like work-wise, AI is going to do it. Why are you going to waste? Even me, I use AI. Though some days I'm like, I don't even think too much. I'll just prompt AI to, hey, please. Back in the day, I would spend hours. You know, now I'm spending hours to prompt and think of what I'm doing and learn from it. Than AI has become my second Google, if I should make more sense. It has become my second, and I feel like that's what it's getting to at this point in time now. So just don't be replaceable, is all I can tell you, which I can't guarantee you that you wouldn't. But, you know, find a place to, you know, find a new niche. Is a point where you need to start thinking of what else you can do aside from what AI can replace. That's just my own take. You know, not to scare anybody in case you're feeling scared, but
Yeah.
yes, find what you can do that is not going to be replaced. Because yeah, obviously, your taste, your culture, your identity might not right now is something AI cannot do right now. So you can still leverage that. But it's going to get to a point where AI is catching up to all of that. So as AI is catching up, we are human beings, which is kind of dope. We are human beings. We're always going to find a way. That's what I can say. We're always going to find something to outsmart, you know, whatever it is. Which is one thing that AI cannot replace is we as human beings, our brains, you know, what we're thinking upstairs. Our creativity is what AI cannot replace. You know, AI is as creative to us how you can let it. I have a friend too that's always using AI to do stuff, right? Me, if I use AI to do that same thing, I know how to use the AI very well and get the result that he's looking for because I know what he's thinking, but he can't, you know, say it to the AI. I know what you're trying to do. Exactly. So it's going to get to that point where AI is that good, but just don't be replaced. And even if you're going to be replaced, know how to use the AI. That's basically what, because these days now, everybody's getting laid off. The job that 10 people can do, one person with AI is doing 10 people's jobs. You know, so if you had learned that AI before everybody else, obviously they won't fire you. They will fire the people that didn't learn
They will
that AI.
maintain you, yeah.
Exactly. So don't get left behind because you're scared of AI. Try and see how you can use it. You know, see what you don't need AI for and see what you need AI for so that you can times 10 your workflow. People are selling houses, people are buying houses with
Times
AI and
10 your
ChatGPT.
workflow.
Yes. Times 10 your workflow.
That's the clip right
than
there, bro.
Just be there
Times
to the
10 your
average.
workflow, yeah.
Exactly.
Times 10 your workflow. 10x your
my
workflow, dog.
Yeah, I think that's really, really valid because a lot of people that are doing music feel like, okay, yeah, it's going to start producing, singing. But with what Jeb has said, just look for a way it can, you know, enhance your workflow. Now makes you feel like a superhuman. And that's really valid, bro.
The only thing
Oh,
I'll say is
really, really,
with
really
music,
amazing.
with music you enjoy
stuff.
you enjoy
Amazing.
making music, right? If you enjoy doing it, that's another thing. You know, don't because of AI now like give up what you enjoy. That's another thing about music, which I feel like is applies to every aspect of AI and
Like-
we as human beings. Because some things, I think the last podcast I told you, some things that we do, right, you might pay somebody else to come and do it for you. These days, you don't even have money to pay somebody else, so you use AI to do it, you know. So find what you love to do that's, you don't always have to ask AI to do it for you. If you like making music, if you like playing chords, don't go and ask AI to be playing chords for you, obviously. But if you cannot edit videos, you can maybe try. Don't go and downplay other people that actually now want to edit videos. That's how I feel like it is. Everybody's gonna become their own one-man band, doing their own thing. But obviously we can tell what is fake and what is, we don't really value what is AI.
Definitely.
The point where you cannot tell is where it's coming scary. Like you cannot tell someone is AI. That's the scary part that's coming right now.
That's the funny thing too. Like we have developed ears, so you can literally hear the difference immediately. You said you were in your friend's car and you were like, "This is AI," and they had no
idea,
clue.
And they were singing the lyrics, and I'm like, "When did this song come out? I don't even know who this person is." Then I have to check. I'm like, then we're not going. Okay, which one is AI? Which one is not? Then that's when I found out like
7 million
some songs.
monthlies.
Some songs are like producer will make the beats, but then it's an AI artist. There was some I saw the producer's Instagram page, but then even the AI profile was fake because he said the AI artist is from New York. There's no Instagram for which New York. This is fake. This is a fake AI persona that you have online. So some people will go to that extent of making a lot of things that you can't even tell. It just takes time,
AI.
basically.
I just want to appreciate you guys, man. It's really amazing. Jeb, Eric, Manifest.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Man, I think Eric is the first artist to be on the Lab Station podcast. So Guinness Book of Record, come on.
Thank you. I do my best. I do my best.
Yeah, and I think he did
I appreciate you,
amazing.
man.
So you guys will be willing to come back maybe some other time.
Yeah, that'd be fire.
A different episode. So I really appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
I don't want to stop. I don't want to stop. So yeah, you have it, guys. I want you guys to go to the comment section. Let us know about what we've talked about. You can give us your own opinion. And if you don't like what I said, let me know. If you don't like what anybody just said, you can let us know. We're all going to be in the comment section replying to you guys. So we'll catch you guys in there. So remember to always stay productive. Peace.